China thing. Les réactions des partisans d'Eric Zemmour après l'annonce de l'estimation des résultats du tour de la présidentielle. The reaction to Eric Zemmour supporters after the announcement of the estimated results of the first round of the presidential election.
Ça la flemme. Quelle flemme, moi, c'est prendre tous les 5 ans. Tiens, on le fait. Putain, on peut jamais largement en tête, bordel.
Putain!
Et c'est Jean-Luc Mélenchon qui arrive en 3e position.
By the way, Zimmer got fucked. Are you kidding me? They got 7%. They get fucking state funding, like, as a party. I mean, obviously they thought they were going to get more, but it is fucking insane, bro. It's fucking insane that this guy literally got even 7%. I mean, he's just straight up, like, he's worse than Marie Le Pen. And Marie Le Pen was looking like she cared only about the economy and not so much about the nationalist opinions. And the worst part about this election that I looked at a little bit, he wanted to ban Arab-sounding names. Yeah. The worst part about this fucking election is that, like, Mélenchon actually had an opportunity. Like, he literally was so fucking close to going to the runoffs. Like, he was so fucking close. And, of course, once again, as always, there was, like, a bunch of spoiler parties that are supposedly leftist, but, of course, no coalition could be formed amongst these supposedly leftist parties that also ran against him. And literally, like, even one of those spoiler leftist parties, even if they full-blown pushed Mélenchon, they could have absolutely clapped Marie Le Pen's ass cheeks. And here's the reality. When that happens, okay, leftist infighting is not a meme, okay? This is not a meme. This is not leftist infighting. This is deliberately organized spoiler parties to effectively remove any kind of, like, semblance of a social democratic left from power, okay? That's it. That is straight up what this is. It's not because leftists, like, infight. Oh, this is just like bread to pog. No, it is straight the fuck up a deliberate effort, kind of like the way the DNC operates, okay? The DNC is a way. The DNC works most effectively at ensuring that there is no leftist momentum within the Democratic Party. Okay?
18 months. Good Lord.
It's almost like the left should unify behind social democrats to replace neoliberalism. Yeah, you're right, actually. Mélenchon, who is not a social democrat, should unify against the social democrats who can't even make the fucking 5% mark. What a brilliant attitude from this guy, dude. I mean, that's great. Yeah, you're right, actually. Like, in order for the left to win, they should actually put support. Like, the socialist in that situation should place his support behind the Social Democratic Party, which is not even a fucking Social Democratic Party that can't even get 5% for fucking state funding. Like, not even a legit goddamn fucking party in any capacity at this point. And for the record, from what I understand, Mélenchon has tried to do that regardless, and it fucking failed regardless, because the entire purpose of those fucking goddamn parties is literally to play the role of spoilers, okay? That's it. And someone like Mélenchon is not going to be a socialist in power. Like, that's not how this works, okay? At most, these socialists will enact social democratic policies in countries like France. I'm not saying that it's going to be like, vive la révolution, okay? That's not how it works. And, of course, look no further than the role of said spoiler parties on the quote-unquote left, because immediately after the election was over, they, like, full-throatedly supported Macron. Obviously, they're going to do that because the alternative is Le Pen, which is fucking awful. She's a racist. She's horrible. But you have to, at a certain point, you have to recognize, like, oh, man, this sure keeps happening all the time. Liberals sure keep, portraying themselves as leftists, like Warrenite Democrats. You know, it's so crazy how this goes. The longer this goes, the more this happens. I don't know how the fuck this happens. It seems like the entire political machine is set to push the populace to the right. A far-right candidate makes the normal conservative look more centrist and electable for regular conservatives, while any leftward momentum makes liberals also push in the right direction. It just sucks. Exactly.
Months, you fools.
So the other part of the problem is that Macron, the reason why he didn't even perform as well as he did last time around, and is like kind of, I mean, it's kind of an interesting predicament for France in this runoff now, is because he didn't even fucking do anything. He didn't even campaign. Not only that, but from what I understand, he's like also advocated to potentially fucking refuse to lower the age of retirement. Probably because he wants his. He did better, but so did Le Pen. Sorry, but he didn't fucking. He didn't debate. He refused to do debates, and ultimately, he wants to increase the age of retirement. Le Pen now looks like she wants to decrease the age of retirement to 60. Okay, which makes Le Pen look like the economic progressive in that fucking argument. We are ceding ground. Okay, to right-wing populists who don't even care about these economic policies, but are simply using the popularity behind such economic policies in an effort to get elected to enact their nationalist agendas. He wants to push the retirement to 65 with paying fees for university and work 45 to 40 hours. Anyway, meanwhile, try to make it seem like Le Pen was more left than Macron. Obviously, she's not more leftist. She's not a fucking real leftist. Or if she is, she's a national socialist or a nationalist. You know, she's not. She's just not. It's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. It's also, you know, Nazis. Like they are. It's just Nazi shit. It's also really, really fucking damaging to see Western media essentially point this as a war between. Here's how fucking right-wing the framing is on this election. Are you ready for this? This is essentially now a war between globalists and people who want sovereignty. That's what I've heard from NPR and also French outlets. If that's your fucking analysis, are you trying to get Le Pen to win? Like, is that what your goal is? Not like I'm a fucking globalist, okay? I'm a disgusting globalist. Straight up. But I also recognize that framing that conversation as anything but like nationalism versus like a feckless centrist, liberal, a feckless centrist neoliberal who's like, okay, I'll do like a little bit less racism than Le Pen, but like we'll concede only on the racism front. And actually, this is we'll only do that to make sure that we can maintain our like a globalist power or whatever. Okay. Is a ridiculously self-defeating way to run this. And also, I despise the fact that even Mélenchon has like, unfortunately, a lot of Le Pen supporters, and part of that comes from, again, you know, French politics being a little bit different than American politics in the sense that like they don't have the Bernie style. Their Bernie doesn't have. I'll just say it this much. Even though Mélenchon is like pro-immigration in comparison to, of course, especially in comparison to fucking Le Pen, you know, there is the supporters themselves are a little bit different. Zay had some interesting analysis on it too. When you see the French first round election results come in later today with a likely Macron-Le Pen second round, remember the Soc Dems and Greens could have easily voted for the leftist Mélenchon to prevent the fascist Le Pen from going through, but they pretty much prefer that matchup. The other part about this is that like Mélenchon versus Macron could have been a really interesting matchup, because then the matchup would not be on the grounds of like who can be like more racist and appeal to more like of those reactionary voters for those reactionary policies, but instead it would have been around like, what have you done economically for the people in France, and why do you avoid these people that are very clearly upset? Like here, it could have been a debate effectively around what kind of social safety nets could be repaired. Okay, but they pretty much prefer that mashup. The Green and Soc Dem candidates spent the last few weeks focusing on spearing Mélenchon while he was in third place and came closer to overtaking Le Pen. Strangely, this, just as with Corbyn with the lesser evil argument, fell away. Strangely, they were totally fine with the fascists winning. There was a good piece on why it would be best if Mélenchon proceeded to the second round, as it would mean actual issues of economy were discussed instead of a race between who can be more racist and Islamophobic. But naturally, French Soc Dems and Greens pulled a near a tandem / Lib Dem.
18 months, thank you, Arjan Hassel.
They love that shit. People who like fucking mask themselves as like progressives, leftists. Some even say they're fucking socialists. Will unironically turn around and go, whenever there is like someone who has a crumb of socialism in their attitude or history, okay, those supposed socialists turn around and immediately start fucking blasting their ass, dude. 69% of French Muslims voted for Mélenchon. Dude, France is so interesting, politically speaking. There were reports. I don't know how fucking real they are, but like there are reports of like fucking some subsect of the French Muslim population that is also like Le Pen supporters because they don't want Muslim immigration or some shit. What the fuck? I don't know. It's wild. Le Pen made a party co-founded by Nazi collaborators mainstream.
Time for the awesome content Ashen hype.
By the way, I'm writing in the past tense as if it already happened. I'm going by the polling, but Mélenchon still has a shot. If I were in France, I'd definitely vote for him, and I'd been campaigning for him from the start of his campaign because contextually, as my basic guideline is, will voting for X piss off the ruling class, which you can pretty easily judge by looking at how much they smeared across the political spectrum. Exactly as I said, Jadot Greens and Hidalgo Soc Dems have all but certainly ensured a second round between Macron and Le Pen. In those polls, it's about 50-50 now. Liberals prefer fascism to any semblance of socialism. Always and forever. Fishhook theory is science proven once again. I don't agree with the Fishhook theory or theories like that, but yeah, Macron's the incumbent. Dude, Mélenchon was even closer than this to Le Pen in the final results.
Nice 5 months.
If I'm not mistaken, this is just an opinion way projection, right? This is just a projection, but ultimately, like, he literally could have made up this difference with just the Greens alone. He could have made up that difference. Yeah, it was 23.2 against 22%. Yeah, it fucking nuts, dude. Fucking nuts. It was like, the difference was like 400,000 votes, dude. 400,000 votes, which is nothing in an election like this. Nothing. Oh. French elections be like... That's pretty funny. Oh, fuck. It's a Daily Caller guy. Oh, ew. Ew. Oh, ew. I feel dirty. I just liked the Daily Caller tweet. What the fuck? I immediately unliked it. With devastated Mélenchon supporters outside his campaign headquarters, with 20%, he did better than the polls predicted, but he crashes out of the French presidential election, and now it's Macron versus Le Pen. Also, at this point, Mélenchon has not said that you should vote for Macron, but has actually mentioned that You know,
Anne would be a great grandma.
that is actually mentioned that you should not vote. Not a single one of the votes cast should go from his supporters should go towards Marie Le Pen.
Is this the sub notification? I have no idea anymore.
Anyway, it's weird, man. It's weird to think. But
White people sad.
oh, this was a Muslim majority French overseas territory. Oh, this is the one you were talking about. Marine Le Pen was apparently greeted with cries of Allahu Akbar by supporters in Muslim majority Mayotte, which supports her cause. They don't like immigration from Comoros. I don't know how real this is, but it just seems fucking insane, dude. But they do love her. There is this video. Look at this. Just don't try to fucking understand French elections, dude. It's just, it'll break your brain.
What show?
Caroline.
Monsieur le Président de la République, au nom de moi-même, 33, avec qui...
Bro, she looks like she's on that scene in Midsommar. Yeah. Muslims are also not a monolith. It could mean racism, Shia Sunni split. You of all people should know this. Dude, what the fuck do you mean? Like, yeah, there are, of course, like Shia Sunni splits or whatever, but if you ask a fucking Iranian or you ask someone in Afghanistan or you ask someone in Iraq how they think about America, for example, they're going to have the exact same attitude, okay? Like, literally, the fucking... Like, yeah, that's Muslim people business. Like, yes, a lot Muslims hate each other, okay? Of course, obviously. But we're talking about like an outsider and what the opinion of Muslims are would be on an outsider, which is like anyway. Turks and Kurds hate Arabs, right? It doesn't matter though, because, well, I guess in that situation, the only people who would have a positive outlook on American intervention in America would be the Kurds. But other than that, no shot. Yes, Turks and Arabs definitely have like an air of superiority over one another. This is like, again, Muslim people's business, okay? But ultimately what we're talking about is like literally how they feel about America. Didn't you just use a reactionary argument with outsider? What do you mean?
Yo.
I don't know what you're trying to say there, but what you have to understand is like Le Pen is fucking incredibly and supremely anti, like her original campaign was just straight up like anti-Muslim immigration, like, which is why it's unique.
Hassie, can't you see? The way you stream just hypnotizes me, and I just love your communist ways. I guess that's why they broke and you so paid less than 3. Love you, bro.
Don't forget who Le Pen's father is. Yes, Le Pen's father is a Nazi. Is a neo-Nazi. Anyway, wait. Listen to me. One thing that we forgot to mention is not Mélenchon, but the top of the hour at break. That is right. Wait. As a top of the hour, there is a 60-second ad break for you. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or $6 now. I don't know. Or for free with that Twitch Prime. As long as you connect your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you would get one free Prime subscription a month. Wait. I don't know why I sound like Fat Albert. Hong. Here is a 1 minute ad break now. Happy Monday. Le Pen had a French rhyme in her campaign pamphlet. All voters received that essentially meant all thugs will go to jail, prison, and all foreigners will go on a plane, avion. You're Frenchophobic? Dude, I am so Francophobic. Dude, are you kidding
Make
me?
sure to reapply sunscreen at Chella, my dude.
Yeah. Yes. I'm an enemy to the French people, okay? I'm an enemy to I'm an enemy, I'm a foe. I'm a foe to the LGBT community, okay? And also an enemy of the French.
Days are going great, chat.
This baguette phobia is intolerable. I'm a Francophobe. And I'm pro-child labor. Your anti-French and British attitudes make my day. Yes. Have you read about the Mexican presidential recall election? It happened yesterday, and most people were basically either, I want him to stay, or this is a huge waste of money. Could be an interesting topic to cover later. Yes. AMLO made a campaign promise that he was going to do a referendum and give the opportunity to the Mexican people to potentially recall him, if need be. Okay? So he followed through on that promise, and he did a recall election, or rather, like a referendum, basically, on whether you should recall AMLO or not. And he won 97%, except one really important part of this was that the
9 months in Blam Nation.
the voter participation rate on that election, on that referendum, was 18%. 18% went out to vote for that referendum.
4 months, what's good?
So, I went to Paris with my family in 2016, and a smoking record store owner was making fun of me for being Middle Eastern and American. And when I brought up Le Pen, he was in shock that there are Americans who read. Just felt like sharing this, as it seems like a meme, but I'm not lying or joking about this interaction. Yeah, I mean, everyone in Europe loves. That's why all the European endies love coming in here and being like, "Oh, cover our news, please. We want you to cover the French election." Or, you know, yeah, exactly. Look, True Delusion. Still waiting for Pakistan. They love it, dude. They love, because no one cares usually, because they all hyper focus on American news for the most part. So when someone in America like knows a little bit about what's going on in their country, they're like, "This is crazy." Pakistan and Europe now, man, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? It's not just EU. It's just international, okay? Not America.
This is Pussy Insurance Incorporated. We wanted to talk to you about renewing your policy.
What? My cussy policy? Cover Imran Khan right now, please. Not right now. We're going to get to it in a little bit. Can you calm down?
Hasan.
We're looking at like incredibly
you are in good
impactful
mood.
elections in France
Congratulations
that
on
is
the weight
nearly
loss.
identical to
I'm
like
trying to
the
do the
failure
same.
of socialist movements in the Western world as a consequence of like liberals using every opportunity to become hurdles that said socialists need to overcome to win anything, any semblance of political power. Okay, that's why I'm covering this story, and that is why I want to talk about this story. And the other reason why like Imran Khan is a stupid story to cover overall is because every side is corrupt. Imran Khan is corrupt. He's not good. He wasn't good at what he set out to do. Okay, but ultimately he claims that it was an American coup, and there's a very high likelihood that it was. I mean, Pakistan is a client state, so of course the timing of it was rather suspicious. The moment that he like does the Disney fucking prince, the Disney prince like trip to Russia and does the exact same attitude that India has, that Modi has towards Russia, that Americans are desperately trying to change. Pakistan can't get away with having a pro-Russia attitude, like in the same way that India can. Okay. So he's not a legitimate leader.
22 months of being a good chatter.
He's not a good leader. Even though he like ran on an anti-corruption slant himself, he himself is also corrupt from what I understand. His wife is like pretty sussy. Okay? And also, even in his own ranks, like people fucking gunned him down. Basically, like the coalition that he put together fell apart, and the smaller parties basically went against him. It's just terrible. Like Imran Khan is not good either. So it's like a weird thing to cover because I don't know. I mean, the alternative is not. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen? The alternative, the dude is also the person that they. Voted in a position of power instead of Imran Khan after the vote of no confidence is also fucking literally a bad guy. He's not a good dude either, from what I understand. So it sucks. It all sucks.
You embrace are my favorite anarchists. Thanks to you guys for introducing me to Bellingcat.
Please stop lying to your audience about Imran Khan not being a good leader. He literally captained their World Cup winning cricket team. I know nothing of his politics. I mean, he's hot. Kind of. So there's that. I love that, like, the counter to, like, coup claims, however, with Imran Khan is, where's the proof? Is there written proof? And it's like, yeah, dude, because America always, there's always a paper trail. Like America famously, yeah, if you want proof, I guess we have to go on a fucking time travel machine 20 years into the future when they declassify and the CIA flexes that they actually facilitated this regime change. You know, only then will we find out the proof. But at that point, it's too fucking late anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Okay?
"6 months, let's go hassle."
Corruption index ranking went down with Imran Khan. The new PM is out on bail on a money laundering charge. The state of Pakistan is literally just as a military and intelligence apparatus that sometimes moonlights as a governing body for its people. The richest province in Pakistan ranks lower than the poorest province in Iran. Pakistan, Balochistan on the HDI. These are neighboring nations is so bad. Yeah, Pakistan is a client state of the United States of America, which is why it was laughable that we had no idea that Osama bin Laden was literally next to the Pakistani Annapolis the entire fucking time. That's so crazy how they were able to do that. If Pakistan wasn't like a forward operating base for America and American intelligence, it would literally, they would not have been able to get away with, like, I don't know, flying Black Hawks through its fucking borders and actually dropping one of them on their effort to go supposedly kill Osama bin Laden, who was literally next door to the, you know, largest military academy. Okay, so yeah, they still crashed it too. God, we are so fun. We're the worst. Okay. Osama's still alive? No, I'm just memeing. Like, he's probably dead.
Yo, Hasan for 9 months of great content and saving me from the JP pipeline. Keep it up, man.
Please talk about Malaysia. Okay, bro. No. Okay, stop.
2 months of great content.
Why will I not talk about Malaysia? Because I don't know anything. And also, let me tell you something about Malaysia, okay? You know who should cover Malaysia? Ian Miles Wrong. He's in Malaysia. Go ask him, dude. Go ask Ian Miles Wrong to fucking cover Malaysian news instead of constantly LARPing like he lives in fucking Portland as a white supremacist Malaysian man in Portland or some shit. You're an idiot. You're an idiot, bro. Degenerate. Anyway, we're done. The moment that I fucking do like international politics that isn't like directly related to America, even though everything is still directly related to America. Motherfuckers are like, oh, time to talk about, my hometown.
Months of brain rot.
What's up, dude? I mean, can you please shed light on what's going on in my hometown? A lot of corruption in the municipality. It's like, what else is new, bro? That's like how it is everywhere. Okay, chill.
"16 months OMG hassle."
Yeah, I know. John Fetterman is dog shit with his last take. Even though I still love him, he's awful. Okay. I've interviewed a lot of Mélenchon voters, and a lot of them simply won't vote in the second round. They think Macron isn't just the president of the rich. They think he's also indulging in racism. His interior minister declared Le Pen soft on Islam. Mélenchon takes the stage. The mood is defiant because he surged during the campaign, and some believe that lays foundation for the left in a future election. Bitter truth is a divided left allowed Le Pen to beat Mélenchon into a second place. Not a single vote for Le Pen, declares Mélenchon. That's important because though most Mélenchon voters won't do that, more plan to than in 2017. These are voters who are angry with what they see as a broken system and found Mélenchon a more convincing champion. Young Mélenchon supporters chant anti-fascist and anti-capitalist slogans. Solidarity with the French frogs out there. Solidarity with you, okay? To all the Mélenchon supporters, I'm sorry that you got cucked by liberal pieces of shit who LARP as like progressives or whatever the fuck. You just gotta keep trucking.
Hi.
At least you're closer. Let me just say something. At least you're fucking closer to like actual power. And an actual movement than we are here in the United States of America with nothing. We have nothing. Like, we have...
4 months in Blamonation.
Dude, one of the other things about, like, multi-party systems and parliamentary systems and these kinds of elections in France, for example, or even in the UK, one of the most hilarious parts about elections in Europe is that they think that they're, like, above America because they have multiple parties, right? But ultimately, they still come back to the exact same American-ass fucking bullshit of, like, neoliberals. Hassan Piker's PT, he's really popular in French overseas territory, Mélenchon. Yeah. It ultimately still goes back to neoliberals who are like, oh, we'll do a little bit of racism versus the actually racist person.
But love being chilling.
But the super racist person. It's literally just the same. It's America, okay? It's the same. It's the Democratic Party versus the Republican Party. What changed? What changed, France, huh? You want to act like you're so high and mighty and so different, okay? And motherfuckers are still like, they don't care. They're not paying attention. All the fucking attitudes still align with like neoliberal centrists. That's how it is. No matter what happens, you're still voting either for the neoliberal centrists or you're voting for the fucking racist who's also a capitalist regardless.
14 months, Pog.
Still upset about our places? What? No, dude. Oh my God. Come on, stop. I make fun of French people all the time. Jesus Christ. It's completely irrelevant to this conversation that we're talking about. Almost like most people are neolibs in modern society. This is such a sad and pathetic effort to fucking advocate for something, even if that was true, okay? Even if it wasn't that, like, a bourgeois capitalist government is, and bourgeois elections are, of course, created to churn out these specific outcomes. Even if that is, even without thinking about it from that point of the country, point of the conversation, is it good? Are you happy? Do you think this is good? You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's just people don't realize like there are other alternatives out there. People have been dulled into even dreaming about a different way of running shit. Bourgeois like you, Lamau? Yes, motherfucker. Okay, I'm a class trader. So why are you sucking up and defending the wealthy. Like, yeah, I'm doing class trader shit. What about you, bitch? Huh? You're fucking over here acting like a peasant who's sucking on the boots of the wealthy. What's wrong with you?
And play Lego Star Wars all day. Smile.
How about that?
Peepo has due-time blammo.
New York Times article today. This was Trump pulling a Putin was a really good recap of the mind-blowing overlaps of Trump's nightmare and how we got here and now with the current Ukraine situation. Some people online literally call themselves neolibs so they can be on the side that wins the elections the most. I've seen people literally say that. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. That's because you don't have any convictions. That's it. When you don't have any convictions and when you don't have any like when you have no moral basis for how you live your life or how you think government should be run and don't care about the empathy because you do come from like a relatively privileged background, or you're fucking brainwashed into thinking like it's all just about your team sports winning, then yeah, it's a defeatist attitude. You've already given up. It doesn't make a difference whether you vote or you don't vote in that situation. You know?
Hey chat. Hope you're all having a great day. Transgender pride.
Just join me. This is the fault of the Communist Party, the Socialists, and the fucking Green Party. If they'd backed Mélenchon, we wouldn't be here. I know. But even then, I mean, who knows? The kinds of smears that Mélenchon would have gotten would have been fucking ridiculous. Anyway. By the way, now that they've ensured a Macron-Le Pen second round, they're going to browbeat everyone on the left if they even dare suggest they will abstain and not vote for that light fashion neoliberal scumbag Macron. Lesser evilism only applies to them. The entire thing is a con. Yeah.
Let the brain rot begin.
If most people don't want massive change and just want neoliberal policy, what can you do? No, most people just don't think about it. Like that's the difference. Even if you're sure your alternatives are better, you know, you need more people on your side. I don't disagree with you. That's why I do what I do. So, what do you mean? It's like America is a great example of this. What, you think like people fucking vote for the Republican Party because they're genuinely, I don't know, interested in like banning abortion or whatever? Or like killing every fucking immigrant possible? No, you want to think that if you live in, you know, one of these like one of these fucking liberal havens, and that's what the media is telling you, but that's not the case. Most people don't give a shit. Most people don't vote. The plurality in this country doesn't vote because they have recognized that this system doesn't represent their interests regardless. They're like, I'm working. I fucking do retail. I work in retail. What the fuck do I care whether Joe Biden or Donald Trump wins? And motherfuckers still come in here and try to tell me, like, no, it's actually like these designated people who are, you know, they're just like consistent neoliberals. No, those people would fucking sway with the winds. If MSNBC was churning out socialist propaganda, let's say, laughable, and CNN was, you know, pumping out socialist agitprop on a daily fucking basis, and the Democratic Party was like, you know, led by workers' councils or some shit, then they would literally just be like, I guess I gotta vote for these guys. The greatest example of this is like union power, okay? Labor unions were an incredibly effective machine in getting people to go out to vote for the Democratic Party. That's precisely why once the labor unions were fucking gutted and eviscerated from the Rust Belt, all of those places all of a sudden are no longer fucking pro-Democrat. What happened? Did those people like legitimately fucking change they have legitimate changes of heart, or do most people just not vote on any sort of like serious basis? There's plenty of empirical evidence for this. 80% of the American voters vote on party lines. That's it. They do not vote for ideological reasons. Okay? They don't. 20% of voters vote for ideological reasons. But people know their own politics. The queer women, very poor, wonder and wish they could do something. Wait, what? The queer women very poor. Wonder they wish they could do something.
Hassle.
No, that's survival. What you're talking about is a matter of survival. There's a lot of people who legitimately recognize that the wedge issues that Republicans create are would harm them.
Let's go.
So they're forced into voting for one thing over the other if they are voters. But in most circumstances, those who vote, yeah, they come from diverse backgrounds, economically speaking. But ultimately, it's in comparison to the non-voters, can't say that people who vote aren't rich versus the non-voters. The non-voters are the poor people, by and large.
$14 pogo.
2 new polls on the French presidential election. One, opinion way, Macron 55%, Le Pen 45%. IFOP, Macron 52.5%, Le Pen 47.5%. In latter, voters are for defeated left and conservative candidates, all roughly twice as likely to opt
Pog is that's a lot
Macron
of nuts.
than Le Pen, but many non-voting. Now, some will say that many who are non-voting were just non-voters. From what I understand, the part of Mélenchon's appeal was that he was able to actually bring a lot of non-voters
We have a
who
child
were
together
pissed
now.
off at the system itself. I love the lol what sure non-voters. I mean, it was a failure on Bernie's fault on Bernie Sanders' campaign.
17 months.
Yes, Bernie Sanders' campaign failed to activate non-voters in the same way that they were able to in 2016. And even then, it was not enough. The amount that they were able to activate was not enough, especially because primaries are not. People are programmed in America to not vote in the primaries. The people that vote in the primaries are the MSNBC watchers, which is literally the best place to make that impact is the primaries. So MSNBC can almost single-handedly fucking manufacture whatever result you want to get out of it. And even after that, you also have the Democratic Party in the DNC openly stating that they will change the election's results in an undemocratic fashion if it ever comes to that, and they can legally do that. Don't watch MSNBC and I vote in the primaries. Dude, you're in here, okay? Shut the fuck up. You're in here. Don't you consider yourself to be in a unique situation than like the average American voter? Do you think that this is... Let me tell you something. Do you think that this community right here of 30,000 people who like literally fucking come in here and like learn what's going on in the world, you think these people... You think we have any like... You think we're similar to anyone else in American politics? What are you, crazy? I understand that you think a more aggressive response to fascism pushes us deeper into fascism, but what are we as socialists and lefties supposed to do when the electoral system under capitalism is not working? I don't know, man. You just fucking work. You organize, you work, and that's it.
Pog.
Russian pro karting driver just sig heiling on the podium. Yeah, I saw a video of it. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Where's the popular front at Pog?
If you say the Democratic Party is too right wing, a million libs will chime in and say it's your fault for not organizing enough. Yeah, I don't care. Like, yeah, tell that to like every fucking Democratic operative in my emails begging for money every fucking day because I'm now considered to be at least like a high value target for DNC to milk me. Okay, they literally suck me every day. I get like a million fucking emails. It is annoying as shit. A million emails, a million phone calls, a million text messages. Anyway,
I am hyperfixated on a dead meme. Please help me overcome this.
Yeah, shouts out and half of them from Pelosi. Yeah, shouts out to Bernie for fucking selling my data or just like giving my
Your head
data
is
to the
looking extra
DNC. That was nice
proportional
of
to
him.
your body today.
Okay.
"5 months. Do Transformers live the Cussyverse?"
We'll see, man. I think like here's what I gotta say. The one thing I will say about like China, other than the Shanghai shit that we're gonna talk about now with COVID, the one thing that I will say is this. A big part of the reason why social democracies were able to pop the fuck off in Europe was because of because on the global stage, the USSR was popping the fuck off. And a lot of capitalists saw that.
Love you, Hasan.
A lot of capitalists, a lot of bourgeois controllers of liberal democracies saw that there's a gigantic threat that they needed to fucking concede to. So that's how you got a lot of social democratic gains in these places, because they were like, oh my God, we don't want these fucking guys to rise up, get too mad, and become get help from the USSR and become like more aligned with communism. Okay, just in the same way that liberals now concede very openly to Nazi shit, because they're seeing like some level of growth in nationalist attitudes. So they're trying to take advantage of that, because liberals oftentimes, they just care about capitalism. They just care about capitalism. They care about protecting capitalism, protecting private property. That's the most important. That's the most important like moral value that they have. So they'll align with whoever the fuck, as long as they can maintain that. So the reason why the reason, what I consider to be interesting in this situation is like, if China was more, ideologically aligned with socialism, let's say, openly and aggressively, not in the way that like Dengists think, but actually, it could be an interesting way to, I guess, reignite that USSR style fear that people have in the Western world, and maybe that way we could get some fucking healthcare. Who knows? Huh. All right. Let's get to the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's 60 Minutes interview, okay?
"6 months, hell yeah.